Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. And you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pitch it, and I run it back coach didn't take the biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier as we get ready to kick off this Tuesday edition. We've got DC and DC Capstone Report joining us. Today we will be doing a recap of spring ball as we get ready and we look at what Alabama has accomplished over spring, on position battles that we feel comfortable potentially calling at this point. Talk about some players that may enter the portal, may not, positions that Alabama might need to look at when the portal comes around. We'll also talk about the WNBA draft as Bama had a couple players selected. LeBaron Fallon has made his decision. 2/3 of Alabama's men's basketball roster will be new in 2025, 2026. We'll do a little bit of early comparisons, buy, sell, hold on positions, and we are powered by Box Eye Care. Read.
Good morning, good morning. It is a Tuesday. Maybe a toss-up Tuesday, a terrific Tuesday, tornado Tuesday. I don't know what it is, man. It's crazy what's going on. Wondering how you're feeling about Alabama. As good as I felt about Alabama sports, do I now have just a little bit of a feeling angst or anxiety or what? I mean, what? Tell me, what's your emotions you're feeling right now? Saturday, 8A, kind of left me feeling some kind of way. Ryan and I talked. Bad taste in Ryan's mouth, bad taste in my mouth about kids not being able to get out on the field and get autographs over $15 a month. Is that a good look for Alabama? Yay, Alabama. Alienating potentially the future of Alabama. Will some kid remember that they were denied an opportunity to get on the field and now they're a 5-star? And they remember that Alabama didn't let them on the field to get somebody's name on a piece of paper? Good look, bad look, smart move, bad move. When you have 60,000 people there then maybe that matters. When you have 5,000 people there, maybe you go ahead and open it up. Just or maybe you prioritize. Just some thoughts there. Just some thoughts there. I'd like to get you guys' thoughts on that in just a moment. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice. Be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. And this is the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. Each and every day, they do it the right way down at Box Eye Care. Dan Box and his team will be sharing a little bit more with you about them later on in the program. But, everybody kind of knows how I feel about A-Day. Thought it was a bust, thought it was bad business. I think not from a coach. I want to make sure no one hears me. I understand why coach did what he did. I mean, why would he show his players and highlight his players? But then on top of that, just the bad turnout, and then hearing and seeing some of the images of those kids, man, rushing down on the field and then having to stand at a gate. X, I toss it back to you.
I didn't see that. Man, that's a bad look. That is a bad look.
You understand that the only people who get on the field to get the autographs are those who are part of Yale, Alabama.
So 30 to 40-year-olds and up.
I don't know. I think DC, am I right? With the autograph session reserved for the Yale, Alabama members?
Yeah, you're correct. I think if you look at the field, you can tell that. And if you look at the kids, you can tell that the ones that were denied. So I think there were some kids on the field, but they were because their parents had bought their way in with the Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, somebody should have thought about that. I told Ryan yesterday, ex-DC listening audience, I said, I get, okay, you want to raise money for Yale, Alabama. I get it. But give them something more. Either like they get priority, they get lined up first, they get to bring 2 items, they get to bring 3, whatever it is. But then the other ones can pay $5 that day, but not have to pay every day. Because what you're pretty much saying is the autograph, which we're going to charge you $180 for an autograph.
A one-time autograph.
Yeah. So, and I know that there's supposed to be other things that go with it, but I'm just saying I think it's a bad look. DC, I'll ask you the question I asked Ryan, I asked it Xavier, and would Alabama have and Virgil said they were selling packages, so at least they did that. But I think it's a bad look when it's been. Like I said, I don't think that. What's $5 or $15? I think it's bad. Just let the folks get the autograph, and especially since you changed what the game was. But I asked him, would Alabama have been better off? Is Alabama getting more negative connection and feelings from their fans having played the 8A game, whatever, that practice, than Texas is, who didn't do anything?
Yeah, I think the way it came off at Alabama. Now look, I'm not knocking the coach's decision not to play the game.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. It's within his purview and probably the right decision within the climate that we're in with NIL. And of course, we could talk a long time about NIL and what's going on that you and I predicted 2 years ago. But I think the situation you have to know, Martin, about is the history of Alabama's A-Day. The history of Alabama's A-Day has always been an opportunity for the fan who can't afford the ticket, who can't afford come to Tuscaloosa who can't afford to bring their family of 5 or 4 to an Alabama football game to come and see an Alabama football game. And we have a history of the largest turnouts ever in the history of football prior to the largest when Nick Saban came, just because Alabama doesn't have any other sports. The state doesn't have any other sports that takes away from the demands of people's attendance. And so Alabama's A-Day game has always been a big draw. And so with that back history, which is different than a lot of other places, you got to understand that by putting a product on the field that doesn't even come close to that, the bad taste in the mouth of the fans is, in my opinion, Alabama is much greater after A-Day than if they had just not had one at all, like Texas has done. And the reason I say that is, I know they had packages, they sold packages. I know what Virgil's saying. I had a person there. I didn't go, but I had someone there from the DC Caption Report that was doing pictures and things and different things, and my wife went. And so I know what took place there. And I know what was available, but it was still a bad look to have that many kids who couldn't pay the $5 or whatever to get on the field. And the university could have done a whole lot better than that for people who actually, the ones who came, half of those came because they had paid their money year round to the collective to get on the field, and they knew them and their kids to get on the field. The other half were people who really just wanted to get a glimpse of these players, and I think it was a bad look for those who didn't get a chance to do that. In my opinion.
Yeah, it's about, and I'll reiterate it. I'd rather have done what Texas did than what we did. It leaves a bad taste in a lot of fans' mouths.
And like I said, I don't blame Coach DeBoer. I think he made the right choice. But I also heard that maybe it's because A-Day was sold sponsorships. So they had to put something on for the fans in the stadium because sponsors had paid. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's gonna. Hey, listen, I wanted players to get to partake in some of it, but in some of the money, because I feel like they were never felt like a college player was a slave. Anybody that said that, shame on you. But I do think that there was some indentured servitude and some of the things where you were sharecropping, I guess is a good way to think about it, where you were doing all the work, but you were getting menial feedback. And the NCAA and these colleges could have done something sooner, more intentional and better to get this, and we wouldn't have the mess we're in. So you talking about this would be like having the greatest invention, one of the best inventions ever, and then self-sabotaging it, and then refusing to stand up and take the hit and self-correct, and then make even worse decisions, because the portal, wide open portal. No one asked for every year to be able to transfer. That was the NCAA. Nobody was suing for when you got that get out of jail free card one time. I think most players were happy with that. But now they can go from school to school within the same calendar year. I'm telling you, you are going to see free agency if they do not stop. And what I mean by that, you are going to see a kid play for a school, leave that school and go somewhere else and play, because they're enrolling in online schools. They're enrolling in independent studies, so they can start the school time anytime. And I mean, it's bad. And for some reason, post Alabama's Elite Eight, my feeling on college sports, Alabama sports, is souring a little bit. I mean, am I gonna stop? What? No, but I don't. Going into this offseason, I just feel different. Just being honest, And talking about feeling different, we'll come back on the other side, give our listening audience a few minutes to get in. We're going to talk about the loss of an Alabama great, Brother Bill Oliver, passing on yesterday. Guys, just be prepared to give your thoughts, or whatever you want to do in honor of him, and I'll share just a moment on the other side. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We have DC Capstone Report in the conversation with us.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good Tuesday morning to you. We're getting off to a little bit of a busy situation. This is a disabled vehicle we have on 2059 eastbound just before McFarland Boulevard. I don't see where it's causing a huge ruckus. You're tapping on the brakes to maneuver around it only. And looking good as far as the rest of the freeways and side streets are concerned. Lurleen Wallace and McFarland Boulevard, that intersection is pretty much typical delays. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell.
Shop Townsend Nissan today. Fair, fun, and fast. The right product at the right place. That's why people shop Townsend Nissan. Scott and Boulevard, Tuscaloosa.
The Mayor's Cup 5K is back Saturday, April 26th. Run, walk, or jog for a great cause and support Tuscaloosa's pre-K programs. Sign up now at TuscaloosaMayorsCup.com.
If you have a spicy side, Taco Bell now has a menu to match. Taco Bell's new Caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. Try it today, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Put your party face on. The man from the country is cutting loose.
I'm from the country, and I like it that way.
Look out, the big man is coming. Tracy Bird. A night filled with his biggest hits.
That's the truth.
Saturday, May 24th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Tickets on sale now at PearlRiverResort.com.
That's the truth about me.
Tracy Bird.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Clouds early this morning with a few scattered sprinkles, then becoming sunny today. The weather will be cooler, the high at 70. Clear tonight, the low 44. Tomorrow and Thursday, sunny both days. The high tomorrow 72, the high Thursday 79. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 66 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling. Got lots of conversation to get to. Hopefully I wasn't a Debbie Downer on the other side. But speaking of down a little bit, we got the news yesterday morning that one of Alabama's great player, assistant coach, coordinator, Brother Bill Oliver, passed on yesterday. Sending our thoughts, condolences, and prayers to the family and friends and associates of Coach Bill Oliver. X, I know you're a little younger, but anything stand out to you from Bill Oliver?
I'm not old enough to remember him coaching here, but I know you were DC when you were here at Alabama, and having played for John Copeland in high school, I heard some stories that he just the man he was and the example that he was, the intensity that he brought every day, and just condolences to his family. He is truly one of the legends of Alabama football.
DC.
Yeah, truly a legendary man. Loved Alabama football. Great defensive mind. My dealings with Brother Oliver came after Coach Bryant's death. As you know, and as your listeners know, I was one of the first employees of what was going to be called the Bryant Museum when we were collecting the memorabilia and everything. And Brother Oliver was instrumental in coming by in the early stages and helping us with a lot of different things, including memorabilia and stories. And of course, you get him in a room with Clem Griska and Dude Hennessy. You can tell. I have heard all the stories, Martin. You can imagine, and I've got some great stories that tell between him, Mal Moore, and Dude Hennessy, and Clem Griska. Jack Rutledge, all the great guys that coached for Bear Bryant, and he could tell you anything. But he had a great mind, but he also had a great heart. Some of the players remember him for what he did for them off the field back in the days of no NIL.
Legal stuff he did.
Yeah, I mean, just helping them get out of things and doing things, and
I'm just being funny.
I mean, there's a lot of things.
Careful when you say, do what?
A lot of people love Brother Oliver for who he was, not just what he did for Alabama.
Yeah, and I shared this with Ryan, and so on Ryan's show yesterday. But I'll be brief with it here. I appreciate Coach Oliver. I told the audience that I became the fullback I became because I had to go against his defense day in and day out. The old scripture, iron sharpens iron, and having to go against a Bill Oliver-led defense, not just the talent, but the scheme and how he could confuse an offensive line, which back in my day meant, the fullback was the one that had to adjust off of the moves, the slides, the slants, the alignments, etc. So I owe that part to him. He almost played me at linebacker, and he talked to me about it. And it was not going to be that I was going to be this great open field linebacker, but I was a player of the year as a linebacker coming out of high school, but wasn't quite tall enough, whatever, at the college level in a lot of people's opinion. But he was like, I see how you go up in the hole when you're blocking at the goal line. We might just entertain that at the goal line and you on defense and just say, go get them. But of course we had so much talent at linebacker, it was never necessary. The last thing I'll say about him is no matter when you talk about defense at Alabama, the greatest of all times, he will always be a part of the conversation because of what he did with the 92 team all year long. And then what he did against Miami, one of the most prolific offenses ever, Heisman Trophy winner ever. The time he came out with 11 guys at the line of scrimmage at, you don't see that to this day. I mean, that would be like, Xavier, just to help you understand, it would be the equivalent of when Alabama had all 4 of those first rounders. It will be equivalent of a defense coming up with with all 11 at the line of scrimmage against that offense, with Tua at quarterback or Bryce at quarterback, and he did them. So that's it. X, you there? Hey, let's get to Pat. Pat, you're in. Pat, you're in with us. What's on your mind, sir?
First off, Martin, so sorry for the loss of your coaching friend. That Brother Oliver had the mentality that Coach Brian had, that he could take his and beat urine and take urine and beat his.
Yeah.
Brother Oliver was that kind of a defensive coordinator. Poor old quarterback from Miami that year in 92, or I guess it was January of 93, he knew the configuration of every light bulb on the top of the Superdome because he was on his back almost the whole time. It didn't matter whether he had the ball or didn't have the ball, he was on his back. And but you had one of the two, well, in my book, the 2 finest bookends that ever played the game of football. You had them at 92 team. There's no doubt about that, Curry and Copeland. And it was just an amazing thing to see. The entire game plan was just absolutely amazing. Do you have any comment on
that? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if the listening audience, there was a glitch. I'm not sure if you guys heard me about the 11-man front and Bill Oliver forever being mentioned. Anytime you mention great defenses, it's just he's always going to be there. And part and parcel, the reason that will be the case, Pat, is because of those bookends. Those 2 guys were absolutely amazing, players for Alabama. And what a lot of people don't realize is those guys didn't get the full 4 years to be dominant at Alabama. Curry didn't get to play his freshman year due to the rule of the Prop 48 because he had I think like a 3.8 GPA, but the ACT gave him trouble, so he was ineligible as a freshman. Copeland had to go to junior college, and then they both came here 1 year apart. But those 2 guys were absolutely beast. It's absolute. He's just a total beast. Both of them. But I would also say that great defensive backfields make great defensive linemen, and great defensive linemen make great defensive backfields. There wasn't a weakness on that team. Somebody had to be the weakest unit, but if the weakest unit on that team, the linebacker group, were still, a bunch of superstars, all SEC caliber players.
Yes, but now one thing before I go, is Fallon only testing the waters, or is he gone? Because if he's gone, our chances of a Final Four are gone too, and we better appreciate that.
Come on, Pat. Come on, Pat.
Hey, Fallon was the key to this team, I promise y'all.
What?
Yeah.
All right. Bring DC back in. Go ahead, X.
All right. Appreciate the call, Pat. DC, before we get to break. What do you hear? I can't believe you just said that.
We can't start that conversation before the break. Yeah, Pat Pat had an A+ on Bill Oliver. Let me see. What would I give Pat on that's what you Pat, that's what you get. That's what you get, Pat. You get that may be one of the worst takes. He didn't say that it hurts our chances. He said we have no chance, DC, Xavier, listening all that.
Let's save that for on the other side. Let's end on a good note with Bill Oliver. That just feel like that didn't happen. Nobody talk about that.
Oh my goodness!
Bill Oliver was a great man, a great coach. How about that?
Yeah, that's right. Bill Oliver did things that nobody has tried since.
One of my great things, and you can confirm if this is true or not, Martin, but he did say in a room with some of those coaches was two things. One is when he put Levin on the line of scrimmage, it was a complete surprise to Miami. Too much that the eyes of the coaches on the other side, you could see them across the field. They were so wide, and the only other eyes wider was the Benny Testaverde's eyes.
No, you know who else eyes were wide?
Who?
Us. Like people have asked me, what had we seen? I didn't see. We didn't see it. So we were on the sideline. So just imagine, DC, Testaverde's looking at it from like straight on, and he's looking out, and he can't see any depth. All 11 guys. We're looking at it from the sideline, going, "Oh my, get to the quarterback." Because
he said this. The second thing I say, he said this. He said that he had talked to the defense, the defensive line, and the defensive backs, and he thought that the thing that made it work, number one, is they got the great defensive line, great defensive backs, but the thing that made it work was what he told specifically the defense before they went out to do it, and that is, you don't have to worry about this because the defensive line won't let him throw the ball. He'll get to him before he throws the ball, and if he does, the defensive backs will intercept it. Yep. And he made them have confidence with each other, and he could build that in players, and that was the reason that 11 on the line of scrimmage, which no one's ever done, worked so well.
Yeah,
and you can see that in the way they played.
I don't think I've seen it since. I've seen teams bring 9-10 within like 3 yards of the line of scrimmage and stuff like that, but all 11 on the line. That was ballsy, and of course, but we had the greatest defense to that time, and I'm still not saying it's not the greatest defense. I think that defense could play football in any era of Alabama football. I agree
100%.
If they could come in, we had enough DBs that we could come in today, and we had enough defensive linemen that we could go. I mean, your three would have been the likes of Nunley, Copeland, and Curry. I mean, and he had London and Oden and Rogers. Man, there was some players. Whew.
I don't know if this is true or not. You can speak to this if he did or not, but he said that all week he had told the defense when they were talking about different Miami was so cocky. I guess you could speak to that. Miami was so cocky they go in. He had his all shucks good old boy attitude on. He just said, "Hey, man, guys, we've already played the best team that we're going to play. We've already beat them. That was Florida." And he just kind of downplayed Miami. I don't know if that's true or not.
It was true. Hey, let's get the break here. Hey, we'll respond to Pat because we do want to have some basketball conversation. We were going to get DC's thoughts on spring, not what the spring experience was like, but did anything come out of spring that makes you excited headed into the off season? Those conversations on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good Tuesday morning to you. We're getting off to a little bit of a busy situation. This is a disabled vehicle we have on 2059 eastbound just before McFarland Boulevard. I don't see where it's causing a huge ruckus. You're tapping on the brakes to maneuver around it only. And looking good as far as the rest of the freeways and side streets are concerned. Lurleen Wallace and McFarland Boulevard, that intersection is pretty much typical delays. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205-242-5127.
The all-new Chow's Country Buffet is open now on 1100 Skyland Boulevard, Tuscaloosa. Southern classics with an Asian twist. All-you-can-eat fried chicken, fried catfish, seafood boil, roast beef, brisket, orange chicken, and over 150 additional items. Chow's Country Buffet will be open for lunch and dinner at 1100 Skyland Boulevard, Tuscaloosa. Or check out the website, chowscountrybuffet.com. Call 205-810-8888. The all-new Chow's Country Buffet, Skyland Boulevard. Join us for a meal to remember.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
It's kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching
Does this have peanuts?
to waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit.
Are you receiving unemployment? Your benefits could be at risk. Here's how you can protect yourself and your benefits. Never respond to mail notifying you of a false claim in your name. Never answer a text message asking you to verify your account. And only respond to official Alabama Department of Labor's social media pages. Report fraud at labor.alabama.gov/fraud. Brought to you by the Alabama Department of Labor, ABA, and the station. The Alabama Department of Labor is an equal opportunity employer program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Dial 711 for TTY accessibility.
The sound of Bama Sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. DC, we do need to talk about this basketball roster. Pat kind of dropped a grenade in at the end of his comment that Alabama's chance of winning, getting to the big dance, Final Four, went out the window when Fallon made the decision, not just to enter the draft, but that he would not be returning. So I think he's all in. Now, whether he's signed with an agent or not, I do not know. So it's possible. Have you heard whether or not he's signed with an agent? Either one of you
My
guys?
understanding was that his intention was to sign with an agent because he got a really great pre-draft grade.
Yeah.
So I think he's one and done in my opinion.
And the reason I asked that is intention and doing is two different things.
I understand.
I'm saying, and so, but he did seem to make it clear that if he does come back to college, it won't be at Alabama.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I got from it as well. So I don't think he'll.
As well. He won't be back.
I think he'll be drafted and be drafted in the first round. But if something does falter, he won't be wearing crimson next year. So.
Hey, he wasn't that good anyway. Not just kidding. Hey, now, Alabama fans, don't start saying that. We lost a good one with Fallon, but we didn't lose what Pat said we lost.
I think
go ahead.
Yeah, he to say he was the reason we were in the Elite Eight was, that was a bit of a stretch. But no, he's a very talented player, and I think he'll be very successful at the next level. But DC, we were 2/3 of Alabama's roster will be new next year. 2/3 with we didn't talk about it yesterday. Darian Reed entering the portal over the weekend. You look at Jared Stevenson committing to North Carolina.
Told you
yesterday. Huh?
Told you. I knew that.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, when he went in with no tag,
what's he got to do to?
Right.
Yeah. What's NATO's got to do to at least keep this team competitive? Do I believe there might be a step back? But yes, but a fall off a cliff, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to fall off a cliff. I think I got enough confidence in Nate Oates that he can build a team. Nate Oates knows what he needs to compete in the SEC, and competing in the SEC means you can compete for national championships. So I think he knows how to build a team to do that. I think he's already got several pieces that he's gone out in the portal and picked up people who he knew was leaving to replace. Now, with the understanding that Fallon, Stevenson, and Reed aren't coming back, he gets to do the same. I think we've gotten, I believe I saw Reitzel had said he's coming back.
Right.
At least a shooter. We'll see how that took a good time to rehab and come back. So that's a good shooter.
Let's look at it. This is the way I kind of look at it. I think we can have a pretty good, because it's going to be not just 60%, 2/3 of the roster. It'll be all 5 starters. Sherelle is going to be more of an offensive threat, I think, and more in line with Nate Oates' team philosophy offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I think a year in the weight room and all that he'll be better defensively, not as good as O. I think we'll lose something defensively a little bit at the rim protector, but I think we'll more than gain that back on the offensive side. Then you move to, and we'll break these down more, but then you move to Darren Reed or Stevenson was going to be the starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were going to be one of the starters. So now you have Millette as a possible for that one, or the Bowl kid, whichever way you want to put them in as the forward guys.
Right.
You shaking your head? No, X.
You think I know what's going to happen? I think Williamson, the big 7-footer from Bucknell, starts at the 5, and you still get the offensive growth there and a little bit better defensively than where Cheryl is currently. Cheryl will be your 4.
Yeah.
Bowl will be your 3 because he's got a slider frame. So you're gonna have a 7-footer, 6'11", 6'11", 3 to 5.
I don't know if Cheryl can. I think Cheryl may be the defensive liability DC at a 4.
I think it depends on what he does in the off season, on what his body and where they're going to what are they going to take him. They're going to groom him for the 5 spot, or are they going to take him to play the 4 spot? He would definitely be a defensive liability in the fact that he hasn't played it before.
Well, and I don't think he's quick enough right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He had developed his body, and then which way they're going to take him. I don't think he's
Because
going to play like he's not a Grant Nelson that can play at the 4 or 5. He's going to have to do one or the other.
I see that I can see the Cartwell at Auburn type of scenario. If he can get to that, and you have Janai Broom as a 5, that type of play. But Xavier, you got Houston Millett. I think Houston is Darren Reed was
He'd be a 3.
Huh?
He would be a 3. He's only like 6'6".
I know. That's what I'm saying. He'd be a 3. And then you have the kid from Miami. I think the kid from Miami in a second-year player will give us what we had in Fallon this year.
I think he runs the point.
Huh?
Or do you think, or with Fallon being low, do you think Aiden runs the point?
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We have some guys. I don't know, but I think Wrightsell is the other shooter. And I think if you give Wrightsell the shots you gave Mark Sears, Wrightsell will have 15 to 18 points a game. DC, your thoughts?
I think Wrightsell, Holloway, and Millett are your 3-point shooters if they get in the game at the same time, and that may be through a 6-man or maybe starting. I don't know.
Yeah, but
if I had to build a lineup right now, it would be Basay at the 1, Holloway at the 2, because he's a really good off-ball guard, in my opinion. Holloway more than having to run the show.
Yeah, he dribbles way too much.
Right, and it depends on what they do with the bigs, but I'm either leaning.
Where you gonna put Wrightsell?
I think Wrightsell's the 6th man. I think Wrightsell's the 6th man. Or do you either swap? You might swap Holloway and Wrightsell.
You just put a defensive liability team on the court.
How?
I think it's
Holloway.
I think we're going to have to see how Wrightsell recovers from his injury. If he's recovered fully, I think he's a starter. And Holloway,
and that's my concern.
To me, Wrightsell is defense and offense. I don't look at Holloway as a. I think that's why Holloway comes off the bench.
But Wrightsell's defense is going to depend on his knee being fully recovered. I think his offense, I think he can shoot, but his defense is going to depend on his knee being fully recovered.
Well, I mean, I'm speaking of him recovering. I mean,
yeah, I understand. In a perfect world where he's recovered well, I think he's your starter and Holloway's your off the bench guy.
If Wrightsell's 100%, I have no problem starting him. If he's 100%, if he can give you what he gave you before you went down, I fully expect him to be the starter. I'm just concerned about that as of right now.
Yeah.
If we can get another big, I would love to play Bo Bowen at the 3 though.
And I think you're going to see multiple. I think you're going to see multiple lineups. I think now Alabama has to get depth. I think that they can put a good competitive with what he has right now. With the kid from Miami, the big that came in the portal, and Bowl. That's 3 really, really good, I think, starters that can start. Whether they start at Alabama or not, I don't know. And then I think the guys he got back, Sherelle, Mallett, Wrightsell, and Holloway, are all guys who I think can play winning basketball. And I'm gonna tell you, you look at the teams that makes it. It still comes down to age and maturity.
Yeah,
age and maturity. Alabama's gonna have some of that.
And we hadn't talked about Davion Hannah is one of the best incoming freshmen in the country. And I think he'll be a guy that gets on the court early and makes a difference. And Amari Green is another good friend. We ain't even talked about the 2 freshmen coming in that are ball players and a part of a really good class.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That do we have a freshman in there? It's like a Con Knable. for Duke. Not the number one kid like flag in the nation, but somebody that comes in there and performs as great as the number one. Do we have that kind of player?
I think it's Davion Hass. I really do.
Be the guy. I really believe he could be the guy.
So
I look for Alabama.
We're by far not going to be the lower part of the SEC, contrary to popular belief earlier in the show. we're going to be still vying for a Final Four.
I think that this team is. I think this Alabama roster, Nate Oates, is going to be fine. I just hope
one of the biggest hit guys. The biggest thing that happened so far is Preston Murphy turning down Indiana to stay at Alabama.
Yep.
That is a key cog in this team's ability to go forward go into the final Elite Eight again. I really believe it.
And for me, I'm just excited that we got a rim stopper. Now I hope Bowl is good defense. I don't think offense is going to be our issue. I think physicality and defense is going to be what gets us over the hump. And you can't know that till the team plays together.
I agree 100%. But if Reitzel is 100% on his knee, he is going to give us a bump in our defensive guard play. I just believe that.
I would agree.
I think him and Mallet. Give us a bump defensively. It's healthy. That's what I mean. That's what we were. If you have a healthy Reitzel and Mallet down the stretch, I think it's a different season for Alabama.
Well, and the other part, DC, is Chris Youngblood was really, really good offensively, and he was not bad defensively. Mark was really, really good offensively and wasn't elite. I mean, offensively was elite, not on defense. Fallon had the tenacity of a pit bull on the defensive end, but he could be mismatched at times because of his youth. I think you have the potential to have, if you go small ball like we did, the guy now playing the three is Mallet, who's a bigger guy who's known to have some defensive skills as well. So he's a little bigger a little taller. So it gives you a few more options, I think, potentially. If how you say his name, Bashir, the kid from Bashir, Miami. I'm just telling you, I think
the kid from Miami, Jahil
Bethea. Bethea. I think that what we're going to see with him, guys, is a year of growth that we didn't see with Fallon. In other words, if Fallon was coming back, man, you would expect his game to be through the roof. So it's possible that this kid coming in, you could see a huge leap forward in the play from that position because he was a top 5 player. It's not like we're replacing Fallon with a lower rated player.
Yeah. A player that has a little better ability to take care of the ball as well. Fallon had a tendency to be a little wild on the offense with the ball, and Bethea has a track record of taking care of the ball a little better.
Yeah. Anyway, DC, what's your takeaway from Grubb saying if we started today, it's Ty's job, but not naming him the starter? I thought that was an interesting approach.
I thought it was, I'm just going to say my takeaway from spring ball is, man, I'm sure I'm glad we got Grubb on our team. He is a straight shooter, a good talker, not much coach speak, great with the players. And I think that was a great way to answer that question. I really did. I mean, a great way to answer that question. Because I think that's, if he just said, hey, we hadn't decided yet, everybody's in the competition, it would just cause more questions. But by answering that way, it gave everybody, the ones that was looking for that answer, an answer. And he really didn't say anything other than, hey, we got 3 great players. One's ahead right now, but I'm still not sold on them yet. Time will tell is what he's really saying. But the ones who heard him say that Ty would be the starter, they just heard Ty and starter. And they just want to write something about that. And so he gave them what they wanted, right?
That's right.
Hey, just want to, before we wrap things up, give a quick shout out to Sarah Ashley Barker, going number 9 overall last night to the LA Sport. Aaliyah Nye going number 13 overall to the Los Angeles Aces, and Zay Green going number 32 to the Washington Mystique. Most women's basketball players from Alabama drafted in a single draft. Congratulations to those 3 young ladies. And
they didn't hear number 2. They heard Barker and Green. Who's the other one?
Zay Green. Aaliyah Nye and Zay Green are the last 2.
Yeah. So kudos to them. Kudos to that's awesome. Top 10 pick, top 15 pick, top 32 pick. Kudos. Talk about rebuilding. She may have to rebuild over on the women's side too, but they got a hot shot coming in for sure. Hey, that's DC Capstone Report. You can find DC Capstone Report. He's sponsored by Lance, freelancepictures.com, rolltopbamapicks.com, and also Karen Cottingham of KW Keller Williams. Check her out, Keller Williams, Karen Cottingham. Hey, remember this: trust in the Lord always, lean not in your own understanding, and always acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Roll Tide out to everybody.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa